All right, let's talk about morning routines. If these have been a pain for you and you're failing them, I want to tell you it's not that you are failing your morning routine, it's that your morning routine is failing you. I was an Army Ranger and did 4 combat deployments to Afghanistan, ran over 300 direct action night raids on high value terrorist targets. So I love a good morning routine. I love discipline. I love consistency. I love attacking the day. But most guys are doing it all wrong. What we are seeing is this world flooded by these influencer type morning routines, and people are trying to copy them. Whether it's Ashton Hall or Alex Hermosi, people think that they need this 60, 90, 120, or 3 hour morning routine in order to have a productive day. And the problem is that it's setting you up for failure because it's unsustainable in its core nature. If you can't do it in 15 minutes and you can't do it on your worst days as a father, you will not have a consistent morning routine. It needs to be able to be done when you're traveling, when the kids are sick, when everything falls through. We need to be able to have a sustainable thing that we can do faithfully day in and day out for decades, because that's actually the goal of a morning routine, is that it not only sets up the day, but it trains your mind and your heart to become a different kind of man. And so if we are trying to make these wide sweeping changes and we're doing the cold plunges and we're doing the brushing of our skin, and we're doing the workouts and the journaling and the praying and the reading, and if it takes you all day, it's not a morning routine and it's not sustainable. It's not setting you up for success. We need a few key rhythms. We need the minimum viable approach, the minimum effective dose to be able to do this every single day and build a compound interest that hockey sticks over the course of months and years so that we become different kinds of men. And so I would recommend that we take a smaller and a micro approach to something, and we actually take the approach. I believe Greg McEwen in Essentialism said that you need simplicity, and the way to approach that is to identify what's essential and eliminate the rest. That's what we're after when it comes to a morning routine. There's a much simpler way to do this than there is by following the influencers that are out there and the morning routines that they're doing. They're designing things for content, not for you to be able to actually execute on. And so I've written this book, and this is not a pitch for my book because I'm going to unpack the details right now for you. But if you want a copy, it is a #1 Amazon bestseller, and you can get a free copy on my website by taking my Fatherhood Strength Assessment as well. I'll email you a copy after you've done that. But here's the whole gist. You can wake up and in 15 minutes, you can do things that shape your heart, that shape your relationships, that shape your body, and you can be done. And you can build this kind of repeatable system that is casting votes, as James Clear says, every single day for the kind of man you want to become. And it's actually shaping your heart. So, what we do with the morning routine, the daily 15 in all of our coaching environments, is you wake up and you hydrate with electrolytes. You jump into the scriptures and you read 10 to 15 verses. You have a very specific prayer framework that you use to respond to those 10 or 15 verses. So you've got like 3 to 5 minutes of scripture. You're responding in prayer, learning obedience. You're moving on to your daily prioritization. And I've got some really key ways that I recommend people do that, but it only takes a couple of minutes. And then you're going to do 25 push-ups, and you're going to reward yourself with coffee so you can reinforce the dopamine experience, the dopamine release, and reinforce the cycle so that your brain says, whatever you just did, keep doing that. And we can do that every single day. Now, it seems simple, but I just had a client send me a handwritten card, and he's like, this is the first time that I've done X, Y, and Z 365 days in a row, and it has changed my life. And we always like the big flashy things. We like the intensity, but we don't like consistency. So if you lower the barrier to entry and you choose to do something that you can do any given day, no matter whether kids are sick or you're traveling or family is visiting or it's the holidays or whatever, if you choose that route, you can build a much more sustainable and a much more fruitful life, because the most common experience is we take on these huge routines. We can do them for a couple of weeks, then we fall off, and they make no meaningful change to who we are and what we actually accomplish and who we become. And so that's my challenge to you today. Try the daily 15, try something like it. Go smaller, go consistent, and be okay with trying to master the basics for decades rather than looking for the flashy, the new, the extensive, the intensive thing that you can't sustain. It will serve you to go smaller rather than bigger for longer rather than shorter.